Hi, welcome back guys, and welcome to my channel. And today I want to talk about familiarity, so things that are familiar and why is this important. Look, many of us, or majority of us, know what's good for us, right? But we don't necessarily pick or select or choose what's good for us in our lives. Why is that? The reason being is because the brain likes what's familiar more than what's good for us. So for example, let's say you grew up in a household whereby what you experienced was around you, what you saw. So when I say what you experienced, it'd be like what you saw was relationships whereby people argued a lot. There's a lot of fighting, infighting going on, a lot of arguing and stuff like that and so forth. Well, that would become familiar to you, right? So chances are when you become older, you'll find a relationship that reminds you of that relationship. So one that's familiar in that way, right? Remember, the brain likes what's familiar more than it likes what's good for it. So if you're used to growing up in a household whereby you're seeing a lot of fighting and arguments and stuff like that and so forth, what typically tends to happen is most people then going to recreate that same type of relationship when they become older in their own household, right? Because it's familiar, and the word familiar in Latin means family. Familiar is family, and family is something that you're comfortable with, right? It's something that's familiar to you, that it's known to you, right? That's what you're comfortable with. So what can happen is quite easily you get into a relationship that mimics the relationship with your parents, for example, because that relationship is familiar to you. So therefore it feels comfortable to you. And you've heard the saying that life begins at the end of your comfort zone, right? So what I want you to do, is a good task to do, is to look at your life and look whereby you've recreated the familiar. So look at the things that you like and don't like, and look at what you would change if you knew how to change it. What exactly would you change? What are you going through that you would change? So for example, maybe you want your own business, but you're always working for somebody else because that's what's familiar to you. What's familiar is to get up and go out to a job and work at that job, right? For some reason, you'd like to start your own business, but you never quite got round to it. Why? Because you keep doing the same thing, find a job, working somewhere else. Then you have all the excuses that come up that are like such excuses: oh, I wouldn't know where to start, I don't know where to begin, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources, I don't have the knowledge, and so forth, and that type of thing, right? These are just excuses because you can find these things. So they're not things that should stop you from ever doing things that you want to do, right? So look at your life, and this is an exercise. Look at your life and start looking at different areas that you want to change. What could be better, what you could change for the better, and so forth. And you're going to find that there's some things that you will look at and you'll be able to immediately connect back to your childhood, to an earlier part of your life, to see why it's become something that's familiar to you. Because if you look at people's lives most of the time, most people don't expand further than their knowing of what they know of their environment, so to speak. You know, it's like epigenetics, right? So someone's environment will dictate a lot about what goes on in their life. So most people, they like to stay within a comfortable, familiar environment, right? And this is holding you back most of the time, not always. I mean, like if, for example, you grew up in a household whereby the people that were raising you or the people around you had really good habits in terms of relationships, for example, maybe you're creating all these great relationships and that's what's familiar to you. That's the positive side of it. I'm talking about more about the negative side of it, where you're creating something that's familiar to you that you don't want to experience. So that's your exercise of the week, so to speak. Start looking at your life in a conscious way, because you've got to be aware. Awareness is a big subject that we'll come on to as well. So anyway, we'll end it there. Get cracking on that exercise. If you've got any questions, ask me down below. Be sure to give me a like if you like the video, because that will help the algorithm, and subscribe and hit the notifications button so you can get notified of the next videos that come up. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.